Though my senses come to life while I'm stumbling, hope as drunk as I have ever been, and I'll never leave again. 'Cause you are the only one, and all my friends have gone to find another place to let their hearts collide. Just promise me you'll always be a friend, 'cause you are the only one. I met you when I was a teen, but then you were one as well. And I could play guitar just like ringing a bell. Sometimes I wonder, in any other summer, could you have been my part-time lover to me? Listening to Stevie Wonder under the covers where we used to lay, and Restacks is what the speakers play. I'll be on tour almost every day. When I was home, I've been...
Alright folks, so we're back into the game. These bans and picks are going to go through pretty quickly because they've already been decided. In the previous game we had to remake because the captain, I think, assuming based on what happened, the captain of 613, his computer crashed, so he wasn't able to pick. Hence my confusion when he ran entirely out of time. So yeah, like we were discussing before, it's Shadow Shaman Death Prophet up against Viper and Doom. All four very strong heroes. I'm feeling the Viper Doom combo a little bit more, but obviously it really depends on the team. So there could be execution that makes anything work out. So this ban should not take quite so long the second time around. 613 obviously is going to try and ban out whatever it is that they feel is going to be a problem for them. One consideration is Faceless Void is really good, and there are people that are really good at playing Faceless Void, and Faceless Void would be a good combination with Death Prophet and Shadow Shaman. The problem is South American Rejects does have a Doom, so that's one consideration for them to keep in mind. However, at the same time, you can kind of pick against Doom in a way where you just get a bunch of heroes that are all really good with their spells, and just kind of be like, well, you have to Doom. You can only do one of them or two of them if you get a refresher. So what you're going to do then? They choose to ban the Faceless Void, so I guess they don't see the possibility of them being able to use him to his full potential. Speaking of just two Dooms, I wonder if you had an Aghanims and then someone with enough regen, if you could get like 5 Dooms going by just keeping everyone like standing next to the fountain with them doomed. Maybe I should try that in custom lobby, but that's a whole other thing. Just kind of curious how that would work. You'd have multiple Dooms running at the same time. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, both teams making some more intelligence picks and bans. A ban on Faceless for 613. Obviously, they feel they can't execute with the Faceless because of the Doom, or maybe they just don't like Faceless. And on South America Rejects, a ban on the Tide. Tide is a great team fight hero. He's also a great offlaner, so a good ban by them, just because of his strength kind of throughout the game. He's a really popular hero nowadays, and for good reason. Ravage is very strong, so is Anchor Smash for doing damage while you're in lane, and if you manage to get it on the physical damage dealer on the other team, you're also pretty well set. So yeah, so a ban on Rubik by 613. This is kind of interesting. They could have picked up the Rubik for themselves, maybe, but I think they probably want a support with a little bit more burst in lane to combo with the Shadow Shaman and whatever carry it is that they pick. Rubik could have stolen Viper Strike for days because it's the only spell that Viper has, and Doom off of Doom, that kind of stuff. Earthshaker picked up by South American Rejects. We've seen Earthshaker a lot in this tournament. Basically, the fate of Earthshaker is determined by whether he gets his Blink Dagger early enough or not. With a Blink Dagger, he just runs around destroying people. Without a Blink Dagger, he tends to be a sad panda and spends a lot of time just kind of getting picked off and not achieving as much as he would like. So we'll see how Earthshaker's life goes in this game. But I don't know if you guys ever noticed. I mean, if you're not looking at a draft screen like this, you probably wouldn't notice, but he's actually kind of cute there. Well, cute and angry. He's got a little puffy, furry face with like a braid going down the middle of his head. very interesting character models. I guess that's one of the benefits of watching tournaments is you get to see these guys up close and you see things maybe you wouldn't have noticed, like the fact that like no one has any pupils. Everyone is missing pupils except for Earthshaker. Yeah, interesting little details like that. And Shadow Shaman's really freaking scary. Like a lot scarier than I would imagine him to be given his voice acting. Mirana picked up by 613. This could be a safe carry Mirana. This could be a roaming support Mirana. This could be an offlane Mirana. Lots of flexibility offered by that hero. One of the strengths of her. Another strength being obviously that you can use your ult to initiate. And Starfall does a lot of burst damage, so a pretty good hero overall. She's kind of fallen off a little bit in terms of favor. There was a time when Mirana was just like super popular a few months ago, but not quite as much now, but still quite popular. So not a crazy pick by any means. If we look here at the reserve time, you notice that 613's only got 36 seconds left, as compared to a minute 40 for SAR. Now, you might interpret this to be just SAR being more decisive, but I remember reading an article about, it was either TI, I think it was the TI4 qualifiers. Someone looked at the amount of time teams took on picking and banning and how much reserve time they had left, and there were certain stages of the pick ban phase that they used more time on, and basically the end result was that the team that used more time, more of the reserve time and more time overall tended to do better because I guess they took more time to think out their decisions a little bit. So South American Rejects picks up Templar Assassin, an interesting pick because you would have expected Viper to go mid. Now Templar Assassin can go into side lane, but it's likely going to be Viper in a side lane because TA is much weaker in a side lane. She's really dependent on those runes and that solo experience a lot more than Viper, who can just get a few points up in his skills and just spam the crap out of people with orbs. So it's likely going to be Viper up against maybe in an aggro try with the Earthshaker and trying to get a ton of kills going for them. I imagine it'll be Doom in the off lane, but I guess we'll see. I forgot to mention the ban on Wraith King. A nice ban from SAR. Wraith King, a very strong hero. Wraith King, a hero that would have fit pretty well into 613's lineup. Alchemist. So these heroes coming out in later stages, heroes that we really haven't seen too much. Alchemist is pretty legit. He can be played as a support into a semi carry, into a full carry, just with the amount of gold he gets from Grievel's Greed. And Alchemist, if he gets doomed, he's not quite as upset about it. If he does manage to get like his stun off and an acid spray off before the doom happens, I think if he uses his ult, it's preserved. I can't remember if does doom wipe all buffs. Doom and removes positive buffs. So I guess that would be a buff, so it would remove it. So he doesn't get to keep that. That would make him really good against Doom.
Seconds to go.
A ban on Batrider here by South American Rejects. So they're anticipating that Mirana is going to be hanging out in lane as opposed to off lane, and a ban out on Ancient Apparition. A nice ban by 613 because Ancient Apparition would be a pretty big problem with the Viper, who can just attack at will with the Chilling Touch buff just because he has his orbs. Disruptor, a pretty good pickup. Just really effective hero if you can get that kinetic field and the static, what's it called? Kinetic field and static disruption. Oh damn, static storm. If you can get that combination off, it's just so brutal. And then once you get Aghanims, you can't even use any items when they're in it, and it's like an AoE doom. So if this team gets farmed up, they're going to have a lot of CC, a lot of control over the other team. There is more stun on 613. And they pick up the Centaur Warrunner, and I'm going to turn off the overlay. Boom. Easy. Beautiful playing the Doom. Well, I guess we'll wait for the next stage to come before I announce everyone. Both these lineups are pretty good. I don't know about the Centaur Warrunner. I like him as an offlaner. He's a strong offlaner. But up against the Disruptor, his Stampede's a little bit less useful, because if Disruptor manages to get a glimpse off while you're running away, well, you get pulled right back in, and that haste isn't quite so useful. So they might be saving the Stampede, or trying to save the Stampede as an escape after someone's being glimpsed, which would be kind of the way to go about it if you wanted to avoid that happening to you. Alright, so it's going to be beautiful heading down here to the bottom lane. And then the four of these guys are going to go up top for now. It looks like they're probably just going to try and help place a ward. Da on the TA, Bardo on Earthshaker, Don Diego Maradona playing the Disruptor and HFN on the Viper. Meanwhile, we have apparently we have Skova on the Death Prophet. We've got Archduke Akka Robot playing on the Marana, Inkamet on the AA, and Free Orbit on the Centaur Warrunner. So all three of these guys are going mid. I guess they're just placing a ward. So it looks like it's going to be actually Alchemist mid, which I like, especially if they're expecting either a TA or a Viper. He's going to do decently well against both of them. That regen and the Acid Spray gives him a lot of control in lane, and Acid Spray is especially good against TA's shield. So this might be something that they're not quite expecting. Going to switch these announcers. I don't know why it changes back every single time. There you go. Less distracting. Yeah, and looks like these guys might be trying to set up for something. They may have an opportunity. We'll see if it ends up working out for them. If they can get an arrow off on the mid, obviously they'll be pretty... Oh. And beautiful disconnecting right at the start. He's been kind of having issues throughout the games. I guess he just doesn't have a reliable internet connection. So probably looking to get some sort of, I don't know, maybe plug in a LAN cable if he doesn't have one plugged in already, or reset his router or whatever. He tends to come back fairly quickly, so it sucks when you're suffering from lag issues. I know it always makes me rage a lot when that happens. That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer. But a quick pause. Doom's back in the game, so... And both these guys are actually going to be jockeying for the rune here, but there's actually could potentially be an arrow coming out on top of the Disruptor. Unfortunately for 613, there was no rune there, which could have baited out the Disruptor into an arrow, or a shackle into an arrow, so they don't get a kill there, but a nice attempt by them. Meanwhile, Death Prophet hanging out here in the bottom lane. She's waiting for the creeps to arrive. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't go for a block, but maybe she just wanted to be a little bit risk averse there. Yeah. So now we wait for things to happen here. Take a look at the last hits. Not really meaningful right now, but I like to have the graph up so you guys can see. That way you get an idea of what's going on, even if I'm not looking directly at it. So yeah, so Centaur Warrunner up here top against the Viper and the Disruptor. These guys hanging out smoked here, so this could potentially be quite dangerous for Doom, but I don't know if they noticed. I wasn't paying attention to the bottom lane there when they smoked up. They might have smoked up in vision of the ward, which would not leave them with much of an advantage because he's aware of the ward being there. Struggling here against the Acid Spray, but he is leading on last hits and denies and making really good use of the damage bonus he gets from Refraction. Archduke Akka notices the Invis rune actually hasn't been picked up yet, and no one knows that he's got it, so you could potentially get a kill here on mid. I don't think there's Alchemist. Alchemist does have a point in his cask, but he needs another few seconds. Okay, he has enough mana for the cask, but it looks like the Shadow Shaman's going to cut back, so that's not going to happen. Centaur Warrunner is having a pretty good time up here top. I think is there stacking happening? I'm not sure what all those pings are about. Sometimes, oh, he's telling him to stack. Nice thing about playing Alchemist mid is if you get those stacks off, you can just Acid Spray it up and then get a lot of kills there. Just drop off to the side lane, throw down your Acid Spray, and wipe out the camps quickly. And then if you do have a point of Grieful's Greed, you also get the bonus gold from that as well. So it looks like they might be planning something here. Bardo spotting at the double damage rune. Doom messing here with the pull. Doom hasn't grabbed a creep yet, actually, from the jungle. This could be lethal for Doom. Mirana's setting up. She wants to get an arrow off. He's trying to run away. He needs to dodge this arrow, otherwise he's going to fall. There's the arrow, comes out. He runs to the side, so he should be all right. Maybe a little bit too eager by the Shadow Shaman on the shackle there. He wanted to hold him in place, but he was also really close to Mirana. He could have probably grabbed him while he was running away and gotten a few right clicks in the meantime. He's trying to pull. He gets one melee creep, so that's not too substantial. But that was a dangerous, dangerous little moment there for the Doom. Don Diego Maradona doing a great job here, pulling into the hard camp. Centaur also with a good response, going to hang out here on bottom, going to try and get some experience from that. So so good play from both sides here. And oh, Alk was in a bit of trouble, but he's going to be all right. So if we look at the last hits, they're pretty even for the heroes that are farming. They're looking pretty much the same. The Dire does have quite a few denies, but it's not super significant here. It's going to be a lot of what determines the early game right now. It's going to be who manages to find a kill here in the tri lane. While I'm saying that, Centaur is in a bit of trouble. He manages to cut the tree. He's going to try and run away, but there's the Viper. He's slowing him down a lot, and Earthshaker actually cuts him off. There's the first blood on the Centaur Warrunner. Really bad time for him there. Centaur Warrunner is a strong offlaner because of the fact that he has return and helps him avoid getting bullied with right clicks. But if you get out of position, it's really dangerous because you don't really have much in the way of escape like other offlaners do. And Mirana's actually hanging out mid now. Alchemist went to... Oh, did Alchemist die as well? Alchemist died while that was happening. Oh, jeez. So a really rough start here for 613 South American Rejects. Executing quite nicely here on their game plan. They've got 2 kills now in their pocket, and Earthshaker keeps rotating down towards the rune to check on the rune. They actually don't have sight, so this is like a really a poor man's ward kind of thing. You send the support out to check it out, but it works out okay with Earthshaker because Earthshaker kind of sets up those kill potentials with his fishers. So he might have been heading there anyways. It's a decent decision by them. And meanwhile, they have some nice sight up in the lane here with the lane wards. So that their carry doesn't get caught out. So it's a decent trade-off by them. So all 3 of these guys are bottom. Meanwhile, Alchemist is getting jumped on by the TA. She has illusions and she has refraction. She's going to take him out again. Oh my god, he survived. I think the Stout Shield proc saved him. Oh my gosh, 9 health. The Stealth Shield proc actually saved him there. He was just about to die and he got a proc on the shield. So RNGesus was on his side that time around. I'm sure he's very happy about that. Viper's actually taking a lot of damage, but he was able to salve up, and he has Power Tres already, so whenever the Centaur gets in range, he's going to spew poison at him, and it's going to be really frustrating for him. Looking at the last hits, Doom definitely doing a little bit better here in the offlane than the Centaur Warrunner is. He's got 9 last hits, which is pretty nice for a Doom in the offlane, and he has Tranquil Boots up as well, so it's going to be really hard to chase him down and catch him out. Centaur might be in a little bit of trouble here with the Earthshaker lurking nearby, but not really an opportunity showing for him just yet. And Disruptor's actually pulling, so Earthshaker's going to decide to drop back here. But TA's been having a really good time here mid. She's got 1 kill already on Alchemist. Was able to push him back as well, and so she's I imagine she's probably pretty happy about this. And she's got face boots up, so she's got a lot of chasing power there. Not sure why there's an observer ward on the ground, but maybe she got it off the courier. Beautiful actually taking a lot of damage here. Skova kind of interested on going on. He's actually level 6 because his supports haven't been with him very much. So he's level 6, and if he gets an opportunity, he's going to be able to push the tower. Does have that point in Exorcism. He's also got a lot of gold. I'm not sure what he's planning on buying next. So this Death Prof is going to be pretty integral to 613 regaining a little bit of a foothold here in the game because she's going to allow them to push towers and have a very strong team fight presence. If she's not able to do that, if she's not able to get into position and help them out, it's going to be quite difficult for 613 to easily reassert their position here in this game. So we'll see what happens. Centaur Warner getting glimpsed back. There's the Fisher going to hold him in place. An ult from Viper on him, and he's going to die for sure. Viper can just go ahead and orb him up and take him out. Mirana actually arrowing, but doesn't manage to catch anyone. Nothing going the way of 613 here. Archroot Akka wants to find a kill here on something, on the TA, on anyone. Oh, there's a DC. Beautiful DCing again. So the game right now just really going the way of South American Rejects, and I imagine this is probably what their game plan was like. To build on the strength of their heroes in the game. And Shadow Shaman actually reconnecting as well. But they're doing a pretty nice job here in terms of the way they're executing the lanes. I'm not sure why one of the other casters is saying GG well played, but I don't know. Maybe he thinks the game's over already. Not enough mana on the Death Prophet here. She's not going to be able to ult. She's doing a lot of harass damage on Doom, but she's also taking a lot of damage from the tower, and she's going to get hit by the creeps as well. She might actually end up dying, and oh my goodness. She does manage to drop the aggro and falls back, but that was almost just really awful. Meanwhile, Mirana's getting dived here by the Templar Assassin. She gets a kill on her as well. That's 4 kills now in favor of the other team, and Alk does get a stun off, but his cask didn't get there in time. It has that travel time that prevented him from being able to help sooner. Pretty unfortunate sequence of events there for 613. Would have been even more unfortunate if Death Prophet had fallen as well. She does get a Sage's Mask. Looks like she's going to go for Yules first. An interesting build. I guess it works. Maybe she was thinking about doing something else instead. I'm not sure. This courier has a Void Stone. Yeah, so she went for Yules first. Alchemist, oh my god, he's getting dove, and he charges his stun up, but he might even just die. There's an arrow coming in. This is actually a pretty decent occurrence for them. They might be able to kill TA off, and that arrow just held her in place forever. Earthshaker wants to finish him off, but he's diving in a little bit too far. This is the beginning of a comeback here for 613. They're all going on the Earthshaker. Earthshaker trying to flee, but Alchemist can have enough stun for his mana. Enough mana for his stun ready, and he starts charging it, but actually the guy dies before he can use it. Not a big deal. He does have his ultimate up. He's not low on health. So a really nice play there from 613. The support's hanging nearby. They're able to help out the Alchemist, who had some really good jukes, and that Mirana arrow just key in turning that engagement around, because Tia was full up on health. So really nice play by them there. Nice to see them making a little bit of a comeback, because it was looking pretty awful for them for a little bit. Excuse my coughing. Oh, there's the ult up on Death Prophet, and she's going to run. She's still pretty quick. She has 395 move speed, so she's going to try and juke out the... Oh, nope, she decides to cut up. And I'm not sure about that. Oh, she has a Yules. She want to get her Yules up, and that's going to give her even more move speed, actually. Mirana waiting for the deny. Gets the deny off on the Death Prophet. So pretty well played by her. I would have expected her to cut down into the tower, but she actually wanted to get that Yules going before... or in her possession, just in case she needed to Yules up and buy some more time, I assume. So a nice play by them. That is going to slow down the Death Prophet a little bit, but she actually just got her Yules, so she didn't have that much gold anyways, and Alchemist Doom didn't get the kill, so not too consequential there. Meanwhile, Alchemist, even though they got that kill on the TA, he's still kind of struggling a little bit against the TA, just because it's a matchup where he's up against a range hero. She has a lot of damage, and if she lines up her denies correctly, she can get like 5 or 6 hits of with the extra damage on him, and it's just quite painful for him to lane up against. Bardo playing the perpetually poor Earthshaker. I don't think we'll be seeing a Blink Dagger on him anytime soon. Speaking of items, let's take a look here. Viper almost has a mechanism ready. He has a recipe, but he's missing twigs, I guess. So yeah, he's a mech now, which is nice, really nice for him. With the phase boots and a bottle, working up towards a Blink Dagger, I think. Doom, I think, is going to make a... he's actually going to make a Hand of Midas, I think, based on his itemization right now with the Gloves of Haste. And San Diego Don Maradona has the Arcane Boots, so he's looking pretty good for support. Meanwhile, the guys on the other team just brown boots on pretty much everyone except for Alchemist, and a Yules on the Death Prophet, so... a little bit less flush there on the cash. Oh, Death Prophet does manage to finish off the Doom, but she dies in return and doesn't take out the tower either, so not the best trade for her. Probably not what she was looking for either. I guess Mirana must have arrowed or something based on the fact that it's on cooldown and she was lurking nearby. So good defensive TPs from the Viper and the Disruptor, making Death Prophet pay with a death in exchange for that kill, so not going to get off scot-free there. And there's actually 3 people mid here for SAR. This could be a little bit dangerous for 613. I don't think they're aware of the fact that there's so many people mid. They do have a ward here providing sight on the rune and a little bit of sight on mid. So this will help them out in terms of the decision making in the middle lane in case they're not aware of the fact that there were so many heroes there. They'll probably peek them out before they move in too closely. Disruptor doing some more drawing on the map. I'm always curious about these drawings. It just looks kind of like random lines to me. I mean, he's showing the vision on the ward, maybe? So, or I don't even know if he knows there's a ward, so maybe not. He doesn't know there's a ward, otherwise it'd probably be gone. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have all the explanations. Death Prophet going for the phase boots next. She does have them up. That's going to make her really speedy in combination with the Yules. And these guys are rotating up. They have smoked up. I think they may have smoked in range of this ward. Otherwise, it was a smoke here, so in that case, it wouldn't be in range. And this is going to be a big fight here mid. They're coming in from behind. They have the smoke up. I don't think they're aware that this is happening. Centaur gets caught up inside the kinetic field. He's also ulted, so he can't use his Stampede to run away. That's 1 down. Meanwhile, Alchemist going off on the Earthshaker. 1 down in return here. Alchemist is going to die as well, though. He's taking a lot of damage from the TA. He's still regenning, so he's still alive, but Alchemist falls. There's the kill on the Mirana. that's 3 for 1 right now, and that was just on the impoverished Earthshaker, so not really a big deal for SAR to be losing him. Meanwhile, they're going to take mid tower. Death Prophet trying to trade for bottom, but Viper's TPing bot, and he's able to push off both of them just by himself. So that's pretty much a free tower there mid. Well, free tower after they got all those kills and pushed him back. Really well played by SAR in that case. Death Prophet wants him. Oh my God, Death Prophet. Oh no. She gets caught in the kinetic field, but they don't have any detection here to prevent the Mirana ult from letting her escape, and they have to back up. That could have gone really badly. Mirana ult helped out Death Prophet a lot there. But meanwhile, Viper here is continuing to farm. He's probably going to push out this bottom tower if no one comes to contest. And 613 struggling coming into the mid game because of all the losses they've been. I don't know, what should I say there? All of the kills that have been inflicted upon them, let's say. Making it really difficult for them here to find their footing in the mid game. They still have a ton of potential, they have a ton of lockdown, but they need to find heroes and pick them off. And SAR is doing a really good job of staying out of range, staying out of sight, and not leaving many good opportunities for them to pick off their heroes. Even Viper, who's been pushing bottom, I mean, he chooses not to push the tower and goes into the jungle instead. They don't have sight on him there. So he's able to do that rather safely, and he's working on getting up in Aghanims. This is going to be a huge pain for the enemy team, and early Eggs on Viper just does a ton of damage and just slows down whoever it is on, and he's able to probably pop it out 2 or 3 times in a fight. So, yeah, these guys need to find a kill on the Viper or something. He's by himself, so Alchemist has a chance to charge up a cask and maybe have Mirana fall up. They're trying out. The cask is going to come in here. He's got the acid spray down. He gets the cask, but the creep might end up blocking here, and the creep actually blocks the arrow, and it's not going to let him get the kill. So really unfortunate there for him. Meanwhile, Viper counter. Viper has no fear here. He's just going a lot of a lot of attack here, just going straight into the other guys. Doom does throw a Doom off, and what does he doom? Did he doom a creep? Oh no, he doomed on Shadow Shaman. He's going to hang out behind the tower. Nice ult there from the Disruptor, going to hold the Alchemist in place, and Alchemist is going to fall. Meanwhile, Viper gets a kill on the Mirana. This is just going so badly for 613. Doom finds Shadow Shaman behind the tower, but he's not going to be able to prevent him from getting the kill. So this is going to be another tower here for SAR, and it's looking more and more awful for 613 here in terms of their potential to be able to fight off South American rejects. Just doing a really good job of keeping the momentum going. Meanwhile, TA is actually doing Roshan, and they may be aware of that, but she has a rune up, so a ward up, so it's going to be difficult for them to stop her. Making good use of the meld to get the negative armor up on the Roche, and doing a lot of damage there with that DD rune. This is a really nice pickup for her. She's going to want to sell an item here, so she has space for the Aegis. What are you selling, TA? Sells her wand, so Aegis obviously much better than wand. Death Prophet moving up into mid. She's trying to push out the lane a bit, but meanwhile Mirana's actually getting attacked by... Oh, okay. No glimpse, though. Would have liked to have seen a glimpse there on the Mirana. I think she got out of sight, so he wasn't able to use it. Mirana uses an ult here, and they group up. They might be able to do something, but there is an Aegis on the TA, and TA is already so powerful. So it's going to be really difficult for them to make something happen. And she's just making use of the refraction there to tank the charges, and then swaps the aggro over to the creeps once she loses those charges. So nice play by her. Death Prophet doing what she kind of needs to do. She's pushing up mid. She needs to get some tower gold for her team, but in the meantime, they're losing their tier 2 here, and they're actually diving up onto... Oh, Alchemist loses half of his health. And he's not going to be able to throw his cask off either. It takes a ton of damage from the cask going off. Centaur misses his stun. Death Prophet is pushing mid, but meanwhile, they're just wrecking their team here. There's a glimpse back, going to pull Mirana in. There's a kill on Centaur. This is just going really, really badly for them. Meanwhile, Doom running up on top of Death Prophet. Death Prophet might be able to make something happen. He does doom her. He has the stun up. He's getting some regen here from his Scorched Earth. It's going to be really close. Does have a wand, though, and he's going to be able to finish her off. So, oh my goodness. Just no luck at all here for 613. A glimpse pulls Archdruid Akka back into space. He gets killed almost immediately by the TA. And that's a full team wipe. Meanwhile, they're pushing their base at 16 minutes. Viper doesn't have a mech available, but it'll be up again in another 30 seconds. Another refraction coming out here from the TA. She's going to be able to take the tower for a little bit longer. And they might actually be losing this tier 3 tower pretty quickly into the game, 17 minutes in. Viper does get stunned, and he does have his eggs up, so he's pretty tanky even though he got hit with an arrow. And there wasn't much they could do in terms of follow-up. Centaur does have his blink. He used it last time when we saw him unfortunately miss his stun there. Oh man, they managed to push them away from the tower, but they sacrificed Shadow Shaman's ult, and there's actually a lot of... Well, they lost their tower. There's not that much damage on the racks. Meanwhile, Death Prophet was pushing mid. She got the tier 1 tower down. She almost took out the tier 2 tower, but that's likely to get denied, so they're going to lose the gold they would have gotten otherwise. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was worth it for Death Prophet to go up and push mid. It's kind of what she needed to do, but it's sort of like a catch-22. You go up there, you push out a tower, and you do what you're supposed to do, but at the same time, they're pushing your bottom tower, and you need to stop the momentum, but maybe if she'd gone in, she would have died anyways, so it's just really difficult to say what would have happened. But now this bottom lane is vulnerable, and if they get another chance, they're going to be able to run in there and do a lot of damage. Beautiful doing a beautiful job here with his Tranquil Boots, throws them on the ground, but they're actually going to get denied, and I'm sure Death Prophet's pretty happy about that, especially given the fact that he killed her earlier. Will she use her ultimate? Maybe not, but oh, she almost gets a kill on the courier too, which would be a lot of pretty decent gold advantage there. She should be able to get away, but she might need to deny because she's taking a lot of damage from this Doom here. A little bit of hesitation there. I think she was waiting for the courier to catch up to her. Oh, she hides in the trees. Uses the wand. Is the arrow going to hit? Whoa. What the... Oh, I guess she was expecting a dive from the TA into the trees. TA making a good decision, chooses not to die. But she's actually going to chase on the Mirana. Mirana does ult. Will she be able to get the last... Oh, she doesn't get the last little poke off there onto the Mirana. So Mirana's still alive. Next time they lose a few heroes here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. There's an arrow coming out, but it comes out late. They do get a stun on the Earthshaker, so Earthshaker doing a lot of damage. Earthshaker's probably... I mean, Centaur doing a lot of damage to him, and Earthshaker falls. So a pretty decent pickup for them, but they're just killing Earthshaker over and over, which is... He doesn't have his Blink Dagger yet? No, but I mean, he's only 1 hero out of 5 on the other team, and he's probably one of the least significant for them to be killing. So they want to try and find an opportunity here. I think TA... does have, yeah, she still has Aegis, so she should be able to push with it, and they're probably going to want to push before the Aegis expires. Earthshaker is down, but they can push us forward. Maybe they're going to smoke. See, there's a ping coming out, but nothing happening. Interesting that there's actually no detection other than the static sentries on the other team. We haven't seen any dust yet. They're choosing just to fight in a single area, so since they have the pushing advantage and the tempo advantage, they can afford just to get sentries and throw them down, and that kind of prevents Mirana's ult from being super useful. We saw multiple pickoffs there in the bottom lane with just the few sentries they had up. There's an arrow coming out. It's going to hit TA, but they're not going to be able to build off of that. And there's actually a glimpse that's going to pull Shadow Shaman back in, and he's going to die before he's able to do anything useful. Poor Shadow Shaman down. Death Prophet ult is up, so this is a good opportunity for them to fight here. And someone laughing really loudly. There's a big fight happening here. I think another arrow coming out. The arrow does miss, though, for the most part, so nothing's going to happen there. Alk is throwing out his stun. They want to try and punish this TA for being up so far, but she still has an Aegis, and she can just run up. Aegis reclaimed in 1 minute. She has plenty of time here to go on the racks. She's just standing right in the acid spray, doesn't even care at all. Going to take out the range racks there, and I think they're going to pressure up into the melee racks next. And suddenly my sound got really loud. I'm sorry, guys. Going on Shadow Shaman, he does throw down his wards, so he does that before he dies. The arrow does hit on the Doom. There's a static storm happening behind. Alchemist wants to throw a stun off, gets it off just right out there at the end. They're going to kill the Disruptor. Doom managed to get a stun off and hold everyone in place, and they're taking a ton of damage. Alchemist falls. TA making good use of her Aegis there, just reses back out of her death. And that's going to be the melee racks down at 21 minutes for SAR. Quick kill for them. I need to change the audio quickly here. This is way too loud.
Radiant structures
Don't know why
are
it suddenly got much louder.
Radiant's bottom barracks are
So that was just really really well played by SAR, using their advantages that they've been building up over the game, just moving up into there and taking the high ground without losing too much. They do lose the Disruptor, but he got his static field off and held Death Prophet in place there, and she did Yules, but it prevented her from being as useful as she could have been during the fight. A lot of damage coming out. Earthshaker managed to get his slam off as well, so really well played by SAR and 613. They're now down to racks, and they're almost 20,000 gold behind, so this is going to get more and more difficult for them, and they don't necessarily have a better late game. I mean, I think, in fact, SAR probably has a better late game. They have the Viper, they have the TA, they have the Doom. Heroes who benefit a lot from the extra farm that they'll be getting as the game progresses, so it's going to be really difficult for 613 here. But always happy to see a comeback, so if that time does come, I'll be yeah, happy to witness it. Meanwhile, just try and push out the lanes a little bit here. They want to leave these towers as fresh as they can for the next team fight when it comes around. But Roche is going to be back up pretty soon since Aegis was pretty close to being reclaimed. And it's probably going to be SAR that manages to take Roche on again. So Roche isn't going to be much of a help them. Oh man, Alk gets spotted out. There's the Viper ult on him. He does use Blade Mail, but it's probably not going to save him. They decide to back up. So they bait out the Centaur ult. Alchemist does survive, but maybe not worth it. Death Prophet might actually find a kill here on the... Oh no, she doesn't see the courier. Unfortunately for her. But meanwhile, they're going to take this top tower. Centaur ult is down, and Mirana ult's down as well. So they have a little bit less of an opportunity there in terms of what they're going to be able to do. And that the TP taking forever, but not going to be able to find anyone. No blink on the Doom, surprisingly. Went for Sanjiasha instead. I guess it works given the current state of the game, but if he had a blink, he could have blinked forward and doomed the Mirana, but it's not really too important. Given how tanky he is, he can kind of just run in there. He's kind of going for a race car build that we used to see on Nakes, with Sanjiasa, with drums, with the move speed from his Scorched Earth. He's going to be running around pretty quickly. Death Prophet using up on the Viper, but oh man. Centaur's just not having a good day here. Misses another stun on the Viper, and as a result, Viper does manage to get away. Alk's going to want to throw off his stun, but he gets a glimpse back, and TA's actually all up on the front line there, but she decides to back up. Pretty kind of running around scattered here. They're going to push another tower, and it's up to 613 here to make this not work out. There's a nice arrow coming out on the TA. Alchemist does get doomed, though, and he's going to fall by almost by his own hand there with his stun. He does buy back. He's coming back in. Static Field holding him off pretty nicely. Disruptor doing a really good job with that. Centaur stomps and does manage to hit on DotA. DotA looks like she's going to fall unless she's able to get her... Oh, she does meld just in time, so manages to survive. But meanwhile, Viper doing work here in the base. 613 doing a really good job here defending. I love Shadow Shaman. So a pretty good hold by them, and they might actually get another kill on the Disruptor, but Disruptor actually has a blink. So that's not going to happen. So a couple buybacks there. Alchemist bought back. I think it's actually just one buyback. But a nice hold from 613. This time they were ready. That arrow on TA made a really big difference. She took a ton of damage and had to back up and use that meld to just barely survive. So she wasn't able to go in there and wreak havoc like she was doing earlier. A harassment cask here going off on the Doom. But he's got so much health and so much regen, he's actually not even that scared, despite the fact that Centaur is hanging out there. And Roshan's back up. I wonder if TA is going to spot this out with her traps. We'll see, I guess, in the near future whether that happens or not. So TA with the Manta style with the blink, she's pretty well set for fighting here in the mid game. Midas and a blink up on Doom, so he's going to have a lot of reach, especially with the movement speed. A blink up on the Disruptor. He's working towards an Aghanim Scepter. Meanwhile, Earthshaker's still no blink on Earthshaker, but it's not a big deal. And Viper, he's got a Dagon? Oh man, I wonder if this is a troll build. They are winning by a lot, but I'm not sure about the Dagon on Viper, I guess he's got the opportunity there to just kind of snipe someone out and take them out of the picture quickly. So an interesting item choice from him. Looks like Drums will be coming up on Mirana. She's still working on that. Shadow Shaman, I imagine, is going to be quite poor. Doesn't even have any sort of boots, and he probably wants to get a Blink Dagger next. Sanj, Maelstrom, and Blade Mail up on the Alchemist, but he needs more health and more tankability or something. He's falling really quickly. They're targeting him down in those fights. Meanwhile, Skova, I think he's working on maybe getting a Pipe. It's a little bit late for a mech, but Pipe will be useful against the magic damage. So SAR a lot more wealthy than their opponents, and they're going to take this Roshan pretty easily. There's no sight up on the Roche pit. They do a ton of damage, so Roshan going to fall in just a moment, and this is going to be another push coming out of SAR. They saw that they weren't able to break the racks quite as easily that time around, so they have an Aegis this time, and going to be really difficult for 613 to hold it with an Aegis up on TA. Even if they get a sweet arrow off, it's not going to be enough likely to keep them from pushing up because of the Aegis. Death Prophet does come back to defend, and she does have her ultimate ready. So they're ready with their ults. If they can get a nice fight going here, they might have something going for them. And they need a few more of those fights where they hold the high ground and manage to get more kills than deaths before they can really equalize. But it's going to be difficult. Kudos to them for not giving up, though. Not like those insta GG games in TI where just give up at 15 minutes. TA doing a lot of damage here on the tower, and they can't really stop her. The arrow does hit on TA, but bear in mind she does have this Aegis. This is the cue for the rest of the team to follow in. The mech's going to keep her alive, and she's going to start doing damage to the melee racks. They're choosing just to put TA kind of in front here and have her as a front man. The kill on Mirana is going to happen really quickly. Centaur does manage to stun too. Earthshaker wants to find his slam. He's going to go ahead and slam right now. He does take a lot of damage from the blade mail though. TA coming back up again. That's another kill. There's 2 down on 613. Only 3 remain. Alchemist falls as well. Buyback from Centaur. He's going to try and help defend. They haven't lost the racks yet, though. Shadow Shaman Ward's helping out a lot with holding that. So they lost the Aegis. They didn't take the racks, but they can actually just regroup and push again. There are 2 down on the other team. I think they might want to wait for the Ward stand. And Don Diego Maradona. I really like saying that name. He's going ahead. He's telling them, guys, we need to go up and take this out. TA's working down those wards, and there's a fort coming out from the Radiant, so this is going to give them a brief respite, but they're still missing the Mirana. Death Prophet does manage to dodge that Aghanim's, or the Viper strike from Viper. Earthshaker doing a good job here with her harass from far away. TA working down the melee racks. They're not going to be able to stop her, and she has Desolator up now, so it goes down quickly. Viper, actually, this Dagon strat might work out for him, and Doom jumps in and uses his what's it called? Level death on the Shadow Shaman, pops him quickly. This is looking more and more like GG. That's 2 lanes down. The arrow doesn't hit it. It knocks into a creep, and TA's just going to cycle over and take out this tower pretty much on her own. Her team waiting behind her to see if there's any opportunities while Viper just ults up on anyone who comes nearby. She does get Yules. This is an opportunity for them to go in. Alchemist throws out a stun, but she tries to destroy him with Manta, just barely misses. Meanwhile, Centaur locked out in place here with Fisher, and the Dagon takes out another hero here. They jump up on top of the Death Prophet. Death Prophet going to fall as well. There aren't any buybacks available. Not enough time to check. A glimpse back. This glimpse from the Death Prophet, or the Disruptor, just doing so much for their team. They take another guy out quickly. They're going to go ahead and take out these racks. The wards are placed in the middle, but T is able to maneuver around to the side and take out the melee racks, and this is going to be GG in just a moment from 613. Some valiant attempts at holding, but it's not going to work out for them in the end. Beautiful just barely gets away. Shadow Shaman really wanted to find that kill, and there's a GG call. Quick 30-minute game. SAR doing a good job building on their advantage and kind of, once they got the Wrecking Train going, just continuing with it. Some nice picks, and Viper and Doom. I feel pretty good about that. They did a good job helping their team come to that victory. If you want to support the Canada Cup, you can visit bit.ly/Bearski to grab the ticket. And yeah, thanks for listening. This was Pezant. You can find me at Nick the Pezant, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and then also my website, pezant.ca, where I write about Dota and other things. We'll be back soon, and yeah. Thanks again for watching, guys.
My flat is where we used to stay, just watching the DVD, smoking illegal weed, getting high as 2 kites when we needed to breathe. We use each other's edges for the people to see, and stay up all night like when we needed to sleep. We go anywhere our minds would take us, and I'll say you were beautiful without your makeup, and you don't even need to worry about your wake ups. We can all be loved the way that God made us, and time's the only reason that we could break up, cause you would always tell me I'm away too much. Distance is relative to the time that it takes to get on a plane or make a mistake, so say it again. Oh, Nina, you should go, Nina, cause I ain't ever coming home. Nina, oh, won't you leave me now? And I've been living on the road, Nina, but then again you should know, Nina, cause that's you and me both. Nina, oh, won't you leave me now? And every weekend in the winter you'll be wearing my hoodie with drawstrings pulled tight to keep your face from the cold. Taking day trips to the local where we'd eat on our own, cause every day when I was away we'd only speak on the phone. Watching Blue Planet, creating new habits, acting as if we were 2 rabbits, and then you'd vanish back to the burrow with all the kelp. I'd disappear, you call me selfish, I understand but I can't help it. I put my job over everything except my family and friends, but you'll be in between forever, so I guess we'll have to take a step back, overlook the situation, cause mixing business and feelings will only lead to complications. And I'm not saying we should be taking a break, just reevaluate quick before we make a mistake and it's too late. So we can either deal with the pain or wait to get on a plane, but in a day we'll have to say it again. Oh, Nina, you should go, Nina, cause I ain't ever coming home. Nina, oh, won't you leave me now? And I've been living on the road, Nina, but then again you should know, Nina, 'cause that's you and me both. In a row, won't you leave me now? And now, love will come and love will go, but you can make it on your own. Sing that song, go, oh, won't you leave me now? People grow and fall apart, but you can mend your broken heart. Take it back, go, oh, won't you leave me now? Oh, come now, love will go, should me now on your own. This ain't never coming home, that's so low. So won't you leave now? And I've been living on the road, mend your broken heart. You need both back, oh, won't you leave me now? Loving can hurt. Loving can hurt sometimes, but it's the only thing that I know. When it gets hard, you know it can get hard sometimes. It is the only thing that makes us feel alive. We keep this love in a photograph. We make these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, our hearts are never broken, and time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. Wait for me to come home. Loving can heal. Loving can mend your soul. And it's the only thing that I know. I swear it will get easier. Remember that with every piece of you. And it's the only thing we take with us when we die. Keep this love in its photograph. We made these memories for ourselves, where our eyes are never closing, hearts were never broken, time's forever frozen still. So you can keep me inside the pocket of your ripped jeans, holding me closer till our eyes meet. You won't ever be alone. And if you hurt me, that's okay, baby. Only words, please. Inside these pages, you just hold me. I won't ever kissed me under the lamppost back on 6th Street, hearing you whisper through the phone, wait for me to come home. I can taste salt water, and if I blink again, we'll be sinking in. So I'll learn to swim in the oceans you made. I'll hold you, and you'll think of him, and pretty soon you'll be floating away, and I'll hold on to the words you spoke of, anchored down in my throat, love. And I'm captain of this sinking boat now, with just one armband to carry me home. When the salted tears won't dry, I'll wipe my shirt sleeve under your eyes. These hearts will be flooded tonight. I'll wipe my shirt sleeve under your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes. I still taste salt water on my lips from your kiss, bitterness, and I'll drown within the oceans you made. And I hate to love you, these cuffs are covered in your makeup. I'll never trust you again, you can just be a friend. And I'll hold on to the words you spoke of, anchored down in my throat, love. And I'm captain of this sinking boat now, with just one armband to carry me home. When the salted tears won't dry, I'll wipe my shirt sleeve under your eyes. These hearts will be flooded tonight. I'll wipe my shirt sleeve under your eyes, your eyes, your lips, your mouth, your thighs, your back. You drive me wild tonight. The fact is I'm on the way home, I'm on the way home. I lied, I tried to cry, but I'm drowning in the oceans you made. Salted tears won't dry, I'll wipe my shirt sleeve under your eyes. These hearts will be flooded tonight. I'll wipe my shirt sleeve under your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes, your eyes. For a long time, Daddy wakes up to a drink at night, disappearing on